In this video, I'll be installing the Quick panel for AccuTrack 2015. Then I'll show you how to set its database location to the AccuTrack shared folder. Okay, so I've got my installer launcher here. I can open that and get to the Quick panel installer from here, right here. Or if I'd like, I can go directly to the installer, the setup, right here in AccuTrack 2015 Quick panel dist. So I'll just run my setup.exe now, and that will install the Quick panel. And I'll click Next, Next again, read the license agreement and accept that, Next, and put in my credentials if I'd like. And I'd recommend the default path, which is Program Files or Program Files x86 if it's a 64-bit PC, then Quick Panel 15. Click Next. And also recommend installing for anyone, all users. And that will start the installation. Okay, now I'll click Finish. Now I'm not showing icons on my desktop, but it would create a Quick panel icon you could launch from your desktop. The program installs to, again, C Program Files or Program Files x86, and it's under a folder called Quick Panel 15. Okay, so if I open that folder, the executable file is in there. It is right here, Quick Panel fox.exe. So I'll go ahead and launch that program, and it'll open the first time, create some files out in its public folder, and then it'll ask for a tutor ID. Now at this point, it's just pointing to a sample database that's located in its own local folder, but I could log in if I'd like to play around, take a look at it. Okay, so a valid ID, tutor ID in the sample could be 000555555. Same for the password, 000555555. And I click Done, and now I'm logged into the Quick panel as a sample tutor, in this case Cindy Bright. Okay, now I don't have any access to the back end of the software. I'll talk about how that's set up, but if I clicked Admin, for example, here, you would notice that the great majority of my options are grayed out. That's because of my tutor access group, and I'll show you that in a moment. Okay, but first things first, what I need to do is now set my Quick panel's data location to the production database that you'd be using with your AccuTrack. Okay, so I can do that by exiting the Quick panel completely, and I'm not going to back up my data. But now let's go back to that Quick panel folder here where it's installed. And there's one executable that will do this for me. It's called set data path. Okay, now the first thing I would need to know, of course, is where my AccuTrack database lives. In my case, I've got a Z drive out here, and I've got a folder called Accu 2015 files, excuse me, and then AccuData. So this would be your production database, the database you're using for your AccuTrack software. But I'll just copy that path. And by the way, I'm using a Z drive in this case, but you could use a UNC path if you'd like to, just as easily. So just depends how that's set up on your server. Okay, so a UNC path if you prefer. Anyway, I'm going to go back to my set data path. And since it's AccuTrack, I'll leave native here. And I'm just going to paste that path in. Okay, now I save. Says I have to exit for changes to take effect. Sure. Okay, and now I'm going to open the Quick panel again, and I am using the production database that my AccuTrack is pointing to. And I'll do 000444444, and the same for the password. That's a different tutor. And now I'm logged in as Morgan Freeman. Okay. Now I'm going to open AccuTrack here for a moment and verify that I'm indeed using the same database. And I can do that by going to Database, Database Location, And you can see it is indeed the same database. Okay, now the reason I'm opening AccuTrack is, remember I was talking before about tutor access. So here I click Admin, and a lot of things are going to be grayed out in my system. Okay, and that's because of my tutor access group. So if I go in AccuTrack, System Access Groups, Tutors, okay, these are the options that are available to me when I click the Admin button, either with a tutor login to AccuTrack or the Admin button from the Quick Panel itself. Okay, these are the features that are enabled for a tutor. Now I can change things on the back end that the tutor can see, or I can change menu options that are available on the main menu itself here. So if I turned off the ability for a tutor to make appointments, for example, then those options would be grayed out. Okay? If I manually sign in a student here in my Quick Panel, let's just grab a student real fast. And then go back to my Quick Panel. In a moment, that student will show up. Now I can double-click on that student. And once I do so, then I can see exactly what menu options I can get to on the front end or not. In this case, register to activity is not one of the options that I've granted to my tutor access group in this case. However, create appointment, send message, view appointments, those options are enabled for my tutor access group. Okay, so that's how you decide what's available from the Quick Panel. Okay, now I can run the Quick Panel and AccuTrack together, which I'm doing in this case. So if you wanted all the power, you could use Quick Panel and AccuTrack at the same time on the same PC, or you can have your tutors install just the Quick Panel. There's no reason to install AccuTrack if you don't need it, because the tutors can get to the back-end options as you've seen. So there's really no reason to not just install the Quick Panel. You would do that on the various tutor, advisor, counselor machines, and then you would go do that set data path to set it to the proper database location. Once you've done that, you're ready to go with the Quick Panel. Okay? Thank you.